It only takes one product to completely change your life when it comes to e-commerce. And one of the easiest ways to increase the likelihood of success for the products that you launch is to find hot markets instead of finding hot products. And in today's video, I'm going to show you a really clear example of this that has achieved over $100 million in sales. And it's 100% bootstrapped, which means there was no outside funding. This was just, a couple entrepreneurs that really sent it on a massive hot market. And it's kind of funny I'm saying it's a hot market because I'll just get right into it. The trend that I'm talking about is actually cold plunges. So it's actually a very cold market, but it's booming. So let me show you here real quick. Let me put myself maybe over here. This is a good spot. And I'll show you real quick in the Chemilab Discord here. We have a really cool feature where you can literally just type, kind of like on Midjourney, but you type Google and then you can actually just figure out any trend that you want. And as you see, the trend is pretty powerful. I mean, this is exponential. And even though we're at a bit of a pullback here, I'm using some investing terms, this is still at the resistance point. So right here, this looks really bullish still. So this still looks like it's going to continue to go up, which is really awesome. So, that's the trend and that's the trend validation, but here's the actual store behind it. It's called Plunge, and that's a very clean name for a brand like this. And what they sell is this cold plunge that just looks super clean and is very big. It looks minimal. It has like a minimalist vibe to it. And if we look at the traffic distribution of this site, we can see that it's completely taking off. Every single month, it gets bigger and bigger. And as you see, they're selling this thing for $4,500, which is no small amount. And as you see, they have a heater option. They have a bunch of different upsells that you can kind of opt into, and even some add-ons, which is very clever. Even though it is technically a one product store, since this is really the main product that they sell, they just have some additional upsells and things of that nature, complementary products that you can also buy. But these guys are basically the top dogs when it comes to this industry, even though there is still a bunch of other brands that are capitalizing on this trend and seeing massive success. So we've seen a few others in the past that have achieved multiple 8 figures. And this is kind of a big point that I want to make. Competition is not always a bad thing because it actually really qualifies a trend as a valid trend that you should pursue potentially, right? It means there's a lot of people in a market, the market is hot, and competition, again, it's just not always a bad thing because you can also use the competition to gather data, do research, and find what works. And that's what we're going to do right now. So let's look at some of the ads that they're running that are working. And I know they're working because if we go down to some of their active ads in their Facebook ad library, we can see some of the ones that they've been running for a long time. So these here at the bottom are ones that they started running in April, and they're still running till this day, which is pretty impressive. So, here's one of them. You can't really see it very well, but it's actually just an Instagram story post. It's like a question, which you can use. You can do that on Instagram stories. And then what it is it's actually just an image. So they're running a lot of image ads. This is another image ad right here. That's kind of like this is a massive trend. Basically, it's our designer is on vacation, and it's kind of like a paint level graphic design piece of work there. And that actually works because it's raw, it's authentic, it feels kind of fun for people. They've actually done this multiple times. This is a really good marketing strategy to use when it comes to paid ads. But let's look at, let's say, something like this, right? Rolls-Royce. So this guy's saying the Rolls-Royce
of recovery. This is the Plunge Evolve XL with a Pro chiller and heater, set as low as 37 degrees Fahrenheit or as high as 104, all from your smartphone. Great product to transform your wellness routine. Rolls-Royce.
That's such a good ad right there. It's just 12 seconds. It shows a lot of the benefits of the product and the features that it has that makes it the Rolls-Royce of cold plunges or of recovery. See this one? This one's more of like, I guess let's see.
Cold plunging has changed my life. I'm so much more energized,
so it's
less
just an attractive woman,
and sleep so well thanks to Plunge. I highly recommend.
This one's not as good, but I guess, an attractive girl tends to sell well. At least that's like traditionally how it works. And I guess that still works. Humans are still subject to their evolutionary impulses or biological impulses, however you want to say it. But either way, these ads are very simple, actually. They're not anything that crazy. But here's a big, massive key to their success is they've actually made some really key strategic collaborations that have allowed them to, have more authority than all the other brands. So first of all, they've used this guy from Shark Tank. So this guy was on there. And then, Amanda Cerny, she's a massive influencer. You guys have probably heard of her. She's, also a very big fan of this product. So they're having really strategic key collaborations with big influencers that are actually giving them more authority. And what's really cool about that is that they're not just like spreading this out to as many people as they can. Obviously, that can get very expensive with a product like this. But again, they're being strategic about it. She is often seen working out. She's like a comedian, I believe, an actress, but she is very fit. So, a lot of the people that follow her are likely people that also want to be fit. Now, their Instagram is pretty good as well. So they're reposting a lot of this TikTok content to Instagram, but it's not getting insane engagement. So, you don't need to get insane engagement in order to run a successful business, right? Because you can just capitalize on the machine learning amplification that paid ads allow. And that's what we do at Akemi, actually. I was just going to show you here, just not really a pitch, but we are taking on a few clients right now. So if, we have a couple spots for people that are doing 50K or more per month. We see a ton of data. I always tell this to my team, but we're not just an agency, we're a data company. And the reason I say that is because with all this data I gather, with all the data we gather internally from our own brands and from the clients that we work with, we have this eagle-eye view, this overarching thesis that allows us to really nail down the levers to pull for basically any e-commerce business to unlock massive growth. So you can find some of those links in the description. But ultimately, I just wanted to show you this brand because they are completely popping off. And, you can kind of see exactly what they've done to succeed. They just rode on a really, really popular trend, which is cold plunges. And they did it better than anyone else over time, because that's the other thing, guys. When we look at websites like this that have done over 100 million, by the way, I know that because Sam Parr actually tweeted about it. Shout out to Sam Parr from the My First Million podcast. And what's crazy is that, when we look at things like this, you got to remember that this is like version 30 of their brand, but they didn't start out like this. They likely started out with a very simple Shopify theme. Again, they're bootstrapped, so they probably didn't invest hundreds of thousands into a website design. They probably have now, but that happened over time, and they continue to reinvest into making the business better, making the website better, making the product better. But you don't start out that way, right? You got to start with a minimum viable product, get product market fit, and then scale from there. And one of the best ways for you to get product market fit is to use a very simple Shopify lander. You can use our free AI Shopify store builder in the description if you really don't want to mess around with Shopify yourself. It's a very optimized layout that you can begin with. And, once you have that, again, if you chose a really hot market for your product, then you're likely to get some results right away. And then you can scale from there, reinvest your profits into creating a better website design. Or if you're someone like me and you want to be scrappy, maybe you can try to leverage interns. You can try to leverage people that to help you out with the design slowly but surely, and eventually make things better and better. That's the best way to approach business, in my opinion. And, that's sort of our philosophy at Akemi. We approach things in a scientific way where, we don't want to start out with a million variables to test. We want to go one step at a time and just capitalize on small wins, build momentum, and scale massively. That's what we do. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I got a new mouse, so I'm able to actually move faster on my screen, which feels so good. I know that sounds a little bit random, but if you just literally move your mouse faster, kind of like a gamer, while you work, or in my case, while I make these videos, you can be a lot more time efficient. You can learn more, etc. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.